So in this day and age where it's like every other week a new smartphone comes out and it's extremely tempting to want to upgrade to the next big thing, but the perception is people are upgrading a ton, but are they really? How often do people really upgrade their smartphones, and how long should you hang on to your smartphone? Now, to answer this particular question, I think we have to take a look at a couple of things. First, we have to take a look at what actually ages a smartphone, what makes a smartphone not really hold up and stand the test of time. What components are important for a user to go out and purchase a new smartphone? And in general, how long does the average consumer hang on to their smartphone? So we're actually going to start this off with a question to you guys. How long do you think an average person hangs on to their mobile device? How often do you think they actually upgrade their smartphones? Go ahead and comment in the comment section down below. I'm going to tell you the answer at the end of the video, but I want to know what you guys think. I want to see what the general consensus is on how long you think people hang on to smartphones, especially in this day and age. So like I said, one of the first things we'll take a look at is what actually ages a smartphone. And right off the bat, the processor is probably going to be one of those upfront things that you normally see that ages a smartphone, differentiates an older smartphone from a newer smartphone. The processor seems to be the biggest thing that companies tout and YouTube tech reviewers love to talk about in their videos. But is there really a huge difference from generation to generation when it comes to processing power? And do you really need that much processing power on a mobile device? Now, let's take one of my favorite devices, the Samsung Galaxy Note 10 Plus. It's a device I use continuously. That one has a Snapdragon 855 processor inside in the US. Now, the newest Samsung Galaxy Note 20 Ultra has a Snapdragon 865 Plus processor in the US. Now, what they're saying is that 855 processor and that 865 Plus processor, there is a 25% performance boost versus the two processors. Now, since the processor is basically the brain of your mobile device, it can make your device sluggish if you choose the wrong processor. A 25% boost in processing power definitely seems like something that you would want in your mobile device. But if you break it down, it's only a good thing if you felt like your Samsung Galaxy Note 10 was sluggish or slow to begin with. A 25% boost on something that's already fast enough or faster than I need for everything that I do on my phone is not really a benefit to me. In fact, it's diminishing returns if that boost doesn't really significantly improve my overall use of the device itself. So now the other thing that can actually age a smartphone without doubt is the battery itself. And batteries are weird because batteries are the thing that degrades the most on your smartphone. They actually get worse the more you use, the more you charge, the worse your battery life becomes. Now, normally lithium ion batteries can last 2 to 3 years without problem, or 300 to 500 charging cycles, basically whichever one comes first. So if you charge your battery a ton, it degrades a lot quicker, but if you take care of your battery and you do some battery maintenance and performance, you can actually extend it over the 3-year life of your mobile device without seeing any significant deteriorations. Now, that 2 to 3 year time span, keep that in your head because that is actually an important number. So back to batteries, if you really do see batteries as a really important thing, then that might warrant an upgrade on your smartphone as well. Because if you have a phone where the battery capacity is just not what you want, and you have a newer phone that comes out and they're usually better battery efficient, even gives you a lot more battery depending on the device that you're actually going for, you might want to upgrade for that particular reason. But this is also another thing that revolves around your overall use. If you're a user that's always never too far away from a charger, or always has your phone plugged into something that ends up topping it off to begin with, and you're never really in want for battery power, then the battery is not an option to you. And then again, that's not a thing that would make you want to upgrade. But if you're a person that basically kills your battery every day, the longer you keep that device, the shorter and shorter your window for error gets. So you cannot push the envelope too much because you'll end up running out of battery. So battery is something that's really attractive to you. Now, let's talk about what the important components of a new smartphone would be. What would be something that you'd have to look at in order to upgrade to a new smartphone? One of those most important things is, are you still within that update window? So right now, if you're on the iOS platform, for instance, Apple stretches its update support out for about 5 years. So you're looking at probably the iPhone 6S, 6 Max Plus is still going to be getting iOS 14, which is fantastic. So you can actually hold on to an older device for a lot longer because you're still within that update cycle. But on the Android side, you're not as lucky. Android normally supports their update for about 2 years. Samsung recently announced that every Samsung Galaxy flagship since the S10 is going to be getting 3 years of update support. So again, keep in mind that 2 to 3 year number seems to be something that's continuously coming up within this discussion, and there's a specific reason for that. Now, updates are important for a myriad of different reasons. One, you get some security updates that keep your device as secure and safe as possible. We have a lot of information on there, so that's extremely important. The other thing is that updates make your phone not feel old, basically. So you're getting all the cool new features that somebody that's buying this year's phone is getting as just on an older device. That's where your processor comes into play, and that's where your memory comes into play. So if you do have something that's substantially good for you, those updates can kind of degrade that phone a little bit. So you kind of have to weigh the pros and cons of upgrading on top of an older device. And of course, other components might make an upgrade necessary depending on the user's needs. If you're a person that now takes a lot of pictures where you didn't take a lot of pictures before, you might want to be getting a phone with a better camera. If you're a person that now consumes a ton more media on your device than you did a couple of years ago, then you might be looking for a phone with a better overall screen. So let's go back to that question I asked at the beginning of the video, and I'll provide the answer for you. There are a ton of surveys that were done by the Better Business Bureau and Consumer Reports, and they just surveyed random people. I guess the age difference would also play a factor into this answer, but they didn't put that into the survey. It was just surveying some random standard users on how long they usually keep their mobile device and how long it takes them to upgrade that device. And the standard number is about 2 to 3 years. So it looks like the average consumer is keeping their phones for about 2 to 3 year span, which would kind of explain why Android only supports about 2 to 3 years worth of updates. And it also runs incongruent to how long a battery normally lasts. So you're looking at an average consumer that either is outside that update window now choosing to upgrade, or someone that's starting to experience some really bad battery issues and then they decide to get a new phone as well. That's usually the Kickstarter for getting a new phone. And that would actually be my answer to this question as well. If somebody asks me how long I think they should keep their phone for and how long it usually would take them before I suggest they upgrade their device, it would be about 2 to 3 years. So if you purchased your device about 2 to 3 years ago, I think it's time for an upgrade. 1 year, maybe not. If your phone or device is doing everything it needs to do, if it's servicing all your needs and you're still within that upgrade window, I know the flashy new phone looks really cool, but it may be a better choice to wait off on the upgrade for at least 2 to 3 years before you start looking at another mobile device. And of course, if the phone is not servicing a specific need, then you should get a device that addresses that need. But one of the things I found is that usually when a user waits 2 to 3 years to update their device, then those incremental updates that you're seeing nowadays don't seem so incremental to you, ironically. So if you were to upgrade your phone from last year to this year, you're really only seeing some incremental upgrades. A 25% boost of power from my Note 10 to the Note 20 Ultra is not going to be something that I see immediately. But if I'm coming like from a Note 8 to a Note 20 Ultra, that boost of power, that better screen, that better battery life, that's going to be something that I notice a lot more than if I'm coming from a generation down versus 2 generations down. So I pass the question off to you guys. How long do you normally keep your mobile device? How long do you think somebody should keep their device before upgrading? If you bought a phone this year, when are you going to purchase your next phone? Go ahead and comment in the comment section down below. I'd love to know what you guys think. And while you're down there, if you enjoyed the video, you know what to do. Go ahead and hit that like button and that subscribe button. It lets YouTube and me know that you enjoyed this video. With that bell for notification, that bell's actually pretty important because it's the only way you guys are going to know when we release some cool, helpful content like this one. Until next time, guys, you can check out some of the other videos we've done on the channel. I'm going to list those right there. And as always, make sure to stay safe out there. And until you see you next time, peace out.